Happy Wisdom Wednesday, everyone, and it's finally here. My book review on Scott Adams' LoserThink, How Untrained Minds Are Ruining America. Now, for those of you who ordered this a little early, I think the first 200 people who ordered this, and I was lucky enough to be one of those people, got a collector's edition. Here's why. Because in the front it says how untrained brains are ruining America, but on the inside there is a misprint because it says how untrained brains are ruining the world. That's right, I'll probably be able to retire from the money that I get from selling this. So what does LoserThink about? So Scott Adams, famous for being the creator of the Dilbert comic strip, but also for predicting the presidential election of 2016 almost 2 years in advance. Writes this book, as illustrated by these very interesting people on the cover, about what it means to be trapped in a mental prison, or essentially your own bubble. You see, if you've turned on the news lately, I'm sure you've noticed something. A lot of people with really bad ideas, who are actually very smart, putting them all over social media and TV. Ideas like, history repeats itself, hey, stay in your lane. The simplest explanation is the right one. Terrible ideas. But why is that so? Well, Scott Adams wrote this book to explain what it means to be stuck in your own mental prison, and more importantly, your LoserThink bubble. And he goes through a variety of cognitive biases and essentially traps that we all get into on a daily basis when it comes to talking about our ideas and also being entrapped by the mental prisons that other people decide to put us in. Now, let me give you a rundown of some of my favorite ideas from this book. And to help explain these concepts that I got away from this book, I'm going to invite a very special guest on, and that's Scott Adams' character and probably one of my favorites, Dale. Dale, do you mind coming on here for a moment, introducing yourself to everybody?
Hello, my name is Dale, and I'm here to explain why you have all been trapped in your mental prisons. Probably because you're all idiots and stupid, and I know exactly what you're thinking, but happy to help anyway. My name's Dale. Haha.
So, let's get into the first one, and as Dale very interestingly pointed out, mind reading. Now, what's mind reading? Well, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's when you try to make a claim, and the claim that you're making relies a lot on reading somebody's mind. And this is one of my favorite ones because I've pointed this out not only in my personal life but in work multiple times when myself or another person is trying to make an assumption or at least come to a conclusion based purely on mind reading. Dale, can you give me an example of mind reading?
Of course. I read minds, so I can give you an example. Today, you said that you were late to the office because there was traffic. And I know that there was no traffic. And I think the reason why you were late is because you hate your job. And that's why you just didn't want to be here. Yeah.
Thank you, Dale. Now, the next big key takeaway I got from this book was the idea of a laundry list persuasion. Meaning that when you're trying to make an argument, if you don't have one really good reason or point, you just give a laundry list of reasons, in which case all of them are really not that reliable or strong. The best way to handle people who are giving you a laundry list of reasons when they're trying to win a debate with you is have them pick out the strongest reason and ask them to agree that if that one strong reason, the strongest one in all the list, if that's disproven, then the rest of them really don't matter, in which case they'll agree. Hey Dale, you know how you said that I really want to be an engineer? Could you give me what makes you say that?
Certainly. Well, it's very clear you want to be an engineer. I saw you talking to the engineers. I found you doodling at your desk. You like buildings, and you like video games, very much like an engineer. You like to hang out with the engineers. You like to eat lunch with engineers. I've noticed you had 2 E's in your name, like an engineer. You have glasses like an engineer. Your hair is black.
Now, another mental trap people fall into is using analogies. Now, using analogies is a fantastic way to explain something, but it's a terrible way to actually persuade and make a point. And actually, I think we remember when this was first introduced. Let's head over to the bookshelf. You see, originally, Scott Adams wrote about analogies in his book in 2016 called Win Bigly, where he predicts the win of President Trump in the 2016 election. As you see in this list, highest ranked and lowest ranked pieces of persuasion, analogies is pretty low. So knowing how bad analogies are when it comes to persuading and making a point, and of course trapping you in a mental prison, let's call Dale over to see how he thinks I still want to be an engineer. Hey Dale, tell me a little bit more about your thoughts around me being an engineer.
Of course. Engineers find ways to engineer things all the time. And I heard you say that you like to engineer marketing campaigns. So, it's obvious you want to be an engineer.
Thank you, Dale. As you can see, great ways to explain things are analogies, and a terrible way to persuade somebody or make a point is using them. So stay away from analogies. And my last key takeaway of many is this very simple quote that, because it sounds good, we are often influenced by it, which is, history repeats. The thing is, yes, in a controlled environment, history doesn't repeat. But we're not in a controlled environment, and variables change constantly throughout the day, if not the week and the year. So saying that something happened in the past will likely repeat itself in the future is kind of a stupid way of looking at things. Now, you have to be sure to let go of the past so you can make better decisions moving forward, because things are always going to be different. And when people say, well, it's never been done before, that might be true until it is actually done. Hey Dale, what was that thing you were saying the other day about something you learned about my past?
Of course. I found out that you had a picture online of you as a child and you were drawing shapes and using math, and only engineers like that. And because you found ways to express yourself through engineering in the past, it's clear you want to be an engineer. It's only obvious. History repeats. Huh.
Thank you, Dale. So you see, don't sound like Dale. History doesn't always repeat. And in fact, in the world that we live in today, with how many things change constantly, the idea of using things from the past to predict the future, not the smartest way of going about doing things. So that's my review of LoserThink. What I loved about this book is that he actually took the book and made it so that you can take pictures of the pages when people are engaging in LoserThink with you on Twitter and post the pages. He actually allowed that, so it's not a copyright infringement. And I think it's a great book. It's definitely one that I'll be always referencing. And the thing that I also appreciate is at the end of the book, he kind of compiles a lot of different issues in politics and economics and science all together to sort of give a little bit of an update as to where things are going. So that's your book of the week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it and you want to learn more, check the link below in my comments or in the description. I'll have a link to the podcast on this book where I dive a little bit deeper so you can learn even more. So as always, happy Wisdom Wednesday, and I'll see you next week. Bye for now.